first official public speaking workshop. A lot of times I do a one-on-one session with different people. I share a lot of my speaking engagements online. So you can follow me on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Actually, I'm active on these too. But at the same time, I do a lot of interviews and channels where I also share the different means and ways in which you can be a good public speaker. So in today's session, this is what is going to happen. We just did the brief introduction and welcoming session. The unique part about my way of speaking or public speaking has a lot to do with Afrocentric communication. And I will talk about what Afrocentric communication is, because if you adapt to this particular stance, then you will find yourself being very unique and really attracting the particular target group and target audience that you want. Number two, what we're going to be talking about is how to overcome fear and anxiety when it comes to public speaking. Fun fact is everybody who's a good public speaker still goes through anxiety and sometimes has fear within themselves when they're standing in front of people, or sometimes even when they are sitting in front of a camera. We're also going to be talking about mastering public speaking skills, because it's important. A lot of misconceptions out there is that great public speakers are born. But the fun fact is that you can actually train to be a good public speaker if you have the right guidance. Then we're also going to talk about Afrocentric public speaking in practice. Then I'll just have this interactive session is going to be basically you guys asking questions. But as I have said before, if you have any question, please just send it on the chat box. And when we have the different sessions, we will pick up those questions. We have always been raised in a way that we need to adapt to the Western ideology of how to tell a story, of how to really position ourselves and how to become the person we want to be. But I've come to realize that the more you adapt to your own African authenticity, your story, where you come from, what you identify with, who you are, and what are the type of things or people you want to progress into, the more you find that your communication skills, the more you find that your public speaking skills are at a better point than everyone else. But when it comes to public speaking, fear and anxiety can be your fuel or can be your fire. And fire, sometimes when it blazes too much, it burns everything. And so I found out that a lot of people who want to be good public speakers, whether it's on big arenas or it's in a classroom or it's in a community, I found out that a lot of people feed into their fear. And they don't feed it in a positive way. They feed it in a way that it brings them down. It makes them second guess. And what happens when fear is fed in the wrong way? Anxiety kicks in, imposter syndrome kicks in. You name it. All these things kick in. And what happens? You freeze. I tell people image, body language, and nonverbal communication is important. As much as we always say, people shouldn't judge us, what you do, how you appear, how it is, it doesn't matter. But I would tell you all that it is so important to know where you're going, to know what type of body language you're going to present, how you look, the colors you use, because those are the nonverbal communications that introduce themselves first before your public speaking skills. You have to do away with, I don't think people are going to listen to me. Everyone, I can tell you, every human being is interested in listening to something. Now, how do you maintain that interest is what sets you apart from other people. You want to be good at what you do, be authentic, be truthful, and be real. Everybody these days is so interested to relate with those who are real and those who are authentic. that they're doing away with everyone who's generic. There's no right way of doing things, especially when it comes to speaking. Do what works for you and do it at the best of your ability. So